the user has visited Altoro Mutual. He typed in something Lenny and super secret password. That's the user stuff, but attacker don't know what the Altoro Mutual is, right? So what the attacker can do, they can open up a browser and they type in Altoro Mutual in the browser and they see this, oh, okay, so that is online banking. Probably the user typed in Lenny for the username and super secret password as the password. All right, so before I continue, let me be clear. This video is for educational purpose only. I only mean to spread awareness, so please do not ask me for the tool. And do yourself a favor, please do not look for this tool online. You'll probably not find it, but if you do, chances are it's a trap. Could be another Trojan waiting for you, so be careful with that. Alright, so in today's demo, I'll be using a RAT called NanoCore. This was initially built in 2013 or 14, something like that. And, you know, the initial goal of this tool was legitimate. It was administration tool at first, but due to its extensive capabilities that it provides, attackers adopted it for criminal use. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So first thing, now this is my attacker host, right? This is where I will receive the connection from the target, right? So that's the IP address of my own machine, this host machine, as you can see, right? Okay, and for the port, I just specified this, so it could be any port, but most commonly hackers use 4444, right? So that's the most commonly used port for used by hackers. I hope check this, skip user account control warnings, and I'll show you later what that means. But in simple, it just, ignores the warning when it pops up. Do you want to install? Yes or no? And I also check the run client when the computer starts, right? So for example, somehow the connection drops or the computer shuts down or these reboots the computer. This option will help me keep the connection, right? And that's pretty much it. And there's one more thing that I wanted to show you. Is the DNS setting, right? For now, as you can see, the DNS provider is Google, but it can be changed to anything. For example, custom. All the user's traffic would be routed through your DNS server, and that's pretty dangerous. I'll just leave it with Google. All right, so let's go ahead and compile it. All right, I'll just save it to my desktop, and I'll just name it anything. App. I have it in here in my desktop here, of course. Right, so everything is set from the attacker, and there are a few things that I want to tell you. So let's just minimize that. And that's the app. And you might be wondering, what are these two files? There's definitely a purpose. I'll be uploading a ransomware. I'll be infecting the system with ransomware, locking every single file on the system, and I will throw this txt file right on the desktop of the user so the user can see and open it. And when he open it, he's going to see, of course, it's nothing here, but he's going to see some details like, hey, if you pay me this much in crypto, I will decrypt all your files back to normal. First, I'll be gaining access to the system. After that, I'll be transferring the ransomware to the target system and this txt file, and I'll put this in desktop. All right, so let's just copy this, the target machine. Correct, let's paste it. There we go. So let's go ahead and execute this application. But first, let's open up our RAT. Let's go to clients, connection. We don't see anything here right now. So yep, let's just run it and see what happens. And I double click it. Press yes. And there we go. On the attacker side, as you can see, client, blah, 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 all the details. And there we go. We have the connection. Right click on it, connections. For some reason, if you want to restart the connection or disconnect it, shut down your connection or completely uninstall the application, up to you. So yeah. So for the system tab, as you can see, you can reboot or shut down the user machine. So if I come here to manage and I have this file browser, and the file browser, as you can see, this right here is the attacker, and this right here is the target, right? So I can just literally browse the target machine, and if I want something, I can just download it, and it will be saved to my my machine. And that's pretty scary, right? Because what if you have some sort of personally identifiable information, could be anything that's important to you, right? And I will play with that later. All right, so next let's go to manage again. Task manager. That's pretty much like, opening up the task manager here. Apparently it's taking a bit longer, so let's just exit out of here. Yeah, right click again, manage, and remote console. There we go. All right, so what is that? What that does is like a command prompt right here on your machine. Whatever you do, ipconfig, for example, dir or dir to list files, things and stuff like that, right? So for example, if I type in like, who am I? And it's going to tell me that this is the target user. I can just, dir, I can list the content of the target directory here. I mean, you can do so much stuff. All right, let's just go ahead and exit out of here, right? Okay, right click again. What do we have? No. So when you come to, you see the option mouse wrap? It's just if you want to play with the user a little bit. It swaps the left button to right and right button to left, right? So when I left click, it triggers the right click. And when I right click, it triggers the left click, right? For now, let's just go ahead and unswap it again because we don't need it. You can execute scripts right here, recover passwords, for example, manage files and stress testing, whatever, And then you have the Swiss Army knife, where you disable the webcam lights or enable the webcam lights, And for tools, you have something called Nano Browser. Yeah, let's just go ahead and let's upload this file to the target. So just right click on it, upload, and there we go. It appears here, and as you can see, this right here is the file that we just uploaded. Let's also upload this file. Right click, upload, and it's going to upload this file here as well. This is a ransomware, right? Let's go ahead and execute this. But wait, I'm not going to execute it here because we are attacker, right? So we have to execute this remotely. So let's just exit out of here. Remember I told you about the remote console thing? Let's execute it from here. So where we are, so let's, this file is in the desktop, as you can see. So let's go to desktop here. And here is our ransomware file here. It's the file. Let's just copy the name and dot // and paste the name, hit enter, and that'll execute the ransomware. And this will lock every single file in the system. The user will not be able to access anything. The only thing the user can see, the changed wallpaper and this txt file. And when they open it, they will see how to pay crypto to the attacker so they can release their files. And obviously, this is just a dummy application. It does nothing. So yeah, let's go ahead and as you can see, instant message. Now this feature is very interesting. Like you can literally chat to the user. If I type something, hey there, how are you? I haven't yet sent it, but excuse me. I haven't yet sent it, but as you can see, Edmund is typing. If they see this pop up, they'll be like, what's happening? Edmund is typing. They'll probably be waiting. Okay, so something is about to come, admin. Who is this? They cannot close the window because they don't have option for this. But if you want, you can just allow remote chat window to be closed. And as soon as I click it, you will see a plus button appears, as you can see here. Even if the user closed the window, but it doesn't matter. It'll pop up again, whatever, when you start typing or to send any text information. So if I just say, if I send anything, hey, you have been hacked. Pay me the ransom and I will release your, no, probably like decrypt your files. And, the user may be in panic. Oh, no, please. Something like that, right? Right? And then this, the nana, all right, send message box, for example. Title, body could be anything. Like, yeah, send it. There we go. Let's see the pop-up here. That's just the fancy stuff. And what else do you have? So you have the CD drive. You can open it, close it, play a beep sound. open process, mouse button, you can swap the mouse buttons like I showed to you. You have the monitor option. You can turn on and off the monitor of the target system, of course. And here comes the most interesting part that you've been waiting for. You can recover the password. You can view DNS records. You can monitor keyboard. You can browse the logs. You can have a video feed, audio feeds. You can record the mic, whatever they're talking about. You can have a video feed. You can literally capture the screen live, whatever they do, you'll be able to see. And I'll show you that in a second. But first, let's go ahead and activate the monitor, the keylogger. Right, it's now activated, right? For example, the target is opening a file or browsing something, and he's typing, for example, how to cook meat. Yeah, and yep, that's it. As you can see, whatever the user types, you are able to see it. So the window, for example, you see is Notepad, right, where the user is writing the text to. Notepad, and the file name, as you can see, that's the file name. This pay BTC, of course, that's my file that I uploaded. Not just that, for example, let me just have that open. I don't want to save it. So if the user, for example, open up a browser and open, for example, any online banking application, of course, that's a dummy website for testing purposes. So yeah, there's no harm. So that's online banking, for example. So for example, if the user wants to log in, Lenny, excuse me. Lenny, for example, and then press tab, super secret password. If I reveal this, as you can see, super secret password. Now look at this. The window is Edge. That means they're using Edge browser, and the user has visited Altoro Mutual. He typed in something, Lenny and super secret password. That's the user stuff, but attacker don't know, for example, what the Altoro Mutual is, for example. Right? So what the attacker can do, they can open up a browser, for example, and they type in Altoro Mutual in the browser, and they see this, oh, okay, so that is online banking. Probably the user typed in Lenny for the username and super secret password as the password. They can literally compromise your bank account with that, right? Not just that, that's not even scary yet. I'll show you something even scarier than that. So just stick around. If I right click on it again, click on the surveillance, and this time I'm gonna, let's just go ahead and close this first. Let's just open up the keylogger. Let's just start the keylogger as well, for example. That's running in the back. Let's also run the video feed. And all right, there we go. Let's maximize it a little bit. Right. As you can see, I can see the system live here. I'm monitoring it in a real time, right? I remember I have this keylogger as well running, right? So yeah, for example, I have both of these things running. So for example, if I'm doing something here in my desktop, the attacker can see whatever I do, the attacker can literally see me doing. If I open up my file browser, file explorer, the attacker can see it. Whatever I do, it's a live feed, So if I combine the keylogger with the live screen feed, for example, if I didn't know what the Altoro Mutual is, I can just see, okay, that's what he did. Okay, then he clicked on it, and he typed in something like subscribe, and then in password, he typed something to Hackitron. That's, of course, that's dummy data. Nothing's gonna work, but yeah. But the idea is, whatever you do, it's visible to the attacker. Whatever you type, attackers can see it, right? So as you can see, I typed the username as subscribe, and that's the password to Hackitron, right? And that's pretty damn scary. Then if that doesn't scare you enough, here's another thing. I can literally control the mouse of that target machine. But for now, I don't have a mouse control here. If I click something, nothing's gonna work, right? But I don't have control here. So what I can do, click on control, allow remote control. If I click on it, now I'm able to interact with the target computer. Of course, it does not display when I move the cursor, but if I click on something, then it will display it. For example, if I click on it, as you can see, The cursor does not appear anywhere. The cursor does not appear here on the target system, right? But here, I can do whatever I want. If I click on something, if I open something, it does work. If I want to close something, send cursor movement as well. There we go. That's, as you can see, I can see everything, right? Okay, so here are a few tips to help you stay safe. As always, first thing, keep your system updated. Use antivirus and firewall. They are your first line of defense. Be careful with downloads. Please try not to download cracked software or some shady apps. Always download from official source, right? Or if you trust a source, sure, you can go ahead, but if you don't trust it, don't do it. If you receive an email, do not click suspicious links or attachments. If you don't trust the sender, just delete it. You don't need it, right? Also, watch for your device behavior. Things like, random pop-ups, webcam lights flashing on and off, or slow performance could mean trouble as well. If your system is acting weird and performing slow, could be an indicator that probably a miner is running in the back or something like that, right? Finally, always back up your data. So even if something goes wrong, you don't lose everything, right? And I think that's pretty much it. I hope you found this helpful.